Okay, so the four things that are keeping your weight stuck and four strategies to get your weight unstuck. So today we'll talk about the four things that are keeping your weight stuck if you're a man in your 40s, 50s, and 60s. I'm going to talk a little bit about why dieting doesn't work and how dieting makes those four things that are keeping your weight stuck worse. And then we'll talk about four strategies to get your weight moving and unstuck. Okay. So today and in all of the trainings that I do, what I'm really trying to do is transform the way that you look at losing weight and being healthy. It definitely goes against the grain and norm. I'm sure you've been told to count your calories and exercise more, but you're probably doing that and it's probably not working. So really what I want to do is just show you how to finally achieve sustainable weight loss that you can sustain for the rest of your life. And that's without counting calories. You don't have to go to the gym 7 days a week and you don't have to be hungry all the time. So, who am I and why you should listen to me? My name is Trina Rise. I'm a holistic nutritionist and I have been for over 10 years now. I am a wife. I'm a mother of three kids. I have a 19-year-old daughter, a 17-year-old son, and a 9-year-old son. And I have a loving husband. His name is Evan. And I am really dedicated to helping men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s lose weight and keep it off for good. Okay, there is definitely a better way. I just see a lot of men struggling. I have a lot of male friends, and there's just a lot of misinformation out there. And so I really want the men in my life to thrive. I want you guys to thrive, and I want you to understand that it's really not that hard to do. Okay, so who is this for? Put a one in the comments if this sounds like you, whether you're watching in the replay or you're watching live. Your belly's getting bigger and bigger or staying the same every year. Everything you thought you knew about controlling your weight is not working. You are not sleeping well. Maybe you're having trouble falling asleep or you're having trouble staying asleep or both. Your energy is not what it used to be and you feel tired all the time. You see yourself in a picture and you cannot believe it's you. It just upsets you when you see that picture. Cravings are haunting you and you just can't seem to break free from the cycle of craving and giving in. You feel bloated, you have more aches and pains, your clothes feel tight and uncomfortable, you're dealing with health issues like diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol, or it's incredibly frustrating because you've been told to just eat less and exercise more, and you're doing that, but it just does not work. And maybe it's worked for you in the past, but it's just not working for you anymore. So let's dive in. Four things that are keeping your weight stuck are your muscle mass, your hormones, your metabolism, and inflammation. And those are the four pillars of the Belly Fat Fix weight loss program that I created and that I run. And really, the only way to deal with these four things are through the food choices that you make. So your muscle mass is not what it should be. Your hormones are a mess. Your metabolism is screwed up, probably from years of dieting, and you have inflammation. Okay. So the first thing that is keeping your weight stuck is muscle mass. And here are the facts about muscle mass. If you have stubborn belly fat, your lean muscle mass is lower than you want it to be. A high percentage of fat mass means a low percentage of lean muscle mass. And really, this becomes a vicious cycle. If you lose weight by restricting calories and not focusing on optimal nutrition, your muscle mass will decrease. So if you gain back weight after a diet, you gain back fat, not muscle. Okay. And you need to break this cycle. Men between the ages of 41 and 70 really should have muscle mass between 33 and 39%. Because when you have increased muscle mass, you have a strong metabolism. Okay, that's just a fact, that's reality. More muscle mass equals a strong metabolism. So what does 33 to 39% muscle mass look like? So these percentages here are not muscle mass, they're fat mass. But basically, if you look at these two guys that the arrows are pointing at, they are at a percentage of fat mass and muscle mass that is considered to be healthy, okay? And this guy over here on the right, it's getting a little bit to the point of a little bit too much fat and not enough muscle. But really, you probably want to look something like this guy here, 15 to 19% fat mass, which will be around 33 to 39% muscle mass. That's what you want. Okay, so how did your lean muscle mass percentage get so low and your fat mass percentage get so high? Because I'm guessing when you were younger, you look more like this guy, and maybe now you're sort of heading up this way. Okay, so the way this happened was through dieting and not giving your body optimal nutrition. So it could be just dieting, or it could be just not giving your body optimal nutrition, or it could be a combination of both those things. How does chronic dieting mess up your muscle mass? Well, at first glance, really, that diet that you stuck to for 6 months or more probably seems to have worked just fine. You were overweight, you went on this diet for 6 months, and you lost weight, right? Does this scenario sound familiar to you? You lose a significant amount of weight sticking to a restrictive diet and staying in a caloric deficit. You eat less, you exercise more, you look great, you feel great, and you feel like you finally accomplished your weight loss goals. So what's the problem? Well, the problem with that is that unless you lost all that weight by giving your body optimal nutrition, the weight you lost was not just fat. The weight you lost was fat and muscle. Okay? But you're like, well, Trina, I'm thin, right? You're thin, so you're happy, you're proud of yourself for sticking to your diet for so long. You might not feel like you're as strong as you could be, and that's because you lost muscle mass along with all of that belly fat. But what really matters is that you're thin, right? Well, not really, okay? If you lost the weight counting calories or doing keto, there's there's a problem, okay? There's a really big problem, and the problem is that you lost muscle mass. At first, it probably doesn't seem like they're a problem. Maybe it's been 6 months since you hit your target weight. You stick to the plan, you count your calories, you keep doing keto or whatever diet you're on, but eventually you think to yourself, well, I don't need to count calories anymore, do I? I should be able to start eating normally again. And so you do. And there's nothing wrong with that, because you should be able to eat normal food. You should be able to eat the amount of calories your body needs to function well. And you should be able to have a normal life and be healthy. Uh, but the problem is that when you start eating normally again, you're doing that on a messed up metabolism, okay? Because the diet you were on really messed up your muscle mass, and now your muscle mass is lower than it should be. You lost fat and you lost muscle, okay? And if you have decreased muscle mass or less muscle mass than you should, you have a slow metabolism, okay? Decreased muscle mass equals a slow metabolism. So when you lose weight and then gain it back dieting, your fat mass increases every single time, and your muscle mass decreases, and your metabolism slows down. So if you're in a position right now where you just cannot lose weight, that's why. If you've lost weight, if you were overweight, you lost weight and you gained it back, then you lost it again, and then you gained it back, your metabolism is a mess, your muscle mass is very low, and your fat mass is very high. All right. So the reason why my clients lose weight and keep it off is because I teach them how to lose weight while maintaining muscle mass. Muscle mass is of key importance as a man in your 40s, 50s, and 60s if you want long-term sustainable weight loss. I cannot emphasize that enough. Okay. So the second thing that is keeping your weight stuck are your hormones. And here are the facts about hormones. If you have stubborn belly fat, your hormones are a mess. You need to balance your hormones to achieve lasting, sustainable weight loss. And there is no drug out there that can balance all of your hormones, all of the hormones that need to be balanced for you to lose weight and keep it off. The only way to balance your hormones is through the foods you eat and a holistic approach to your health. So you need to make the right food choices and prioritize your health. And here are some of the hormones. There are more hormones than these, but these are the main ones that are affecting your weight. Okay, you have sex and stress hormones, you have estrogen, which is too high, testosterone, which is too low, cortisol, which is too high, and then you have fat storage and fat burning hormones. You have insulin, which I'm sure you've all heard of, and that's too high. And you have glucagon, which actually is the fat burning hormone, and that's too low. And then you have hunger hormones called ghrelin and leptin. Ghrelin's too high, and that is your hunger hormone. It tells you that you're hungry. And leptin is not working properly, or it's too low, and that is the one that makes you feel full. Okay, so you're like, those are all complicated sort of things, but these are some of the symptoms of messed up hormones. So if you're wondering, well, are my hormones screwed up? Is that one of the things that is keeping my weight stuck? If you have any of these symptoms, then it usually means that you have some level of hormonal imbalance, okay? If you've got sugar cravings, if you are unable to lose weight, if you have constant hunger, or you're feeling hungry when you shouldn't feel hungry, if you're fatigued, if you have metabolic syndrome, so things like diabetes, high cholesterol or high blood pressure, if you have poor quality sleep, you can't fall asleep, you can't stay asleep, if you're stressed constantly, if you have increased fat storage, you have belly fat, you have aches and pains, if you have loss of muscle or loss of strength, and if you're feeling tired or fatigued, especially after eating, those are all symptoms of messed up hormones. So if you have any of those things, your hormones are messed up. Okay. And again, in my program, the Belly Fat Fix, and when I work with clients one-on-one, these are the things that we deal with. We deal with hormones. Okay. This is the first thing we do. You learn how to balance your hormones through the food choices that you make so that you can get your weight unstuck and start making some progress. All right. And then the third thing that's keeping your weight stuck is metabolism. So when I say metabolism, I mean basically that your metabolism is messed up. All right. If you have any of the following symptoms, your metabolism is messed up. If you struggle with weight loss, so you're just having a hard time losing weight, if your weight fluctuates a lot, like your weight's going up 3 or 4 pounds like in a day, or dropping and then going back up, if you have reduced your portion sizes, you watch your calories, you exercise regularly, and still your weight doesn't budge, if you lose weight but then gain it all back, and you've done that multiple times, if weight accumulates around your belly and your waist, if you have energy slumps during the day, if you need pick-me-up snacks and coffee to get through the day, if your cravings can really be unbearable, like you just can't stop yourself from having, that soda in the evening, or digging into the ice cream, if your hunger cues are out of whack, and maybe if you feel bloated and puffy, those are all signs of messed up metabolism. So if you do have those, your metabolism's messed up. So how does losing weight on a calorie restricted diet mess up your metabolism? Well, there are 3 ways this happens. Number 1 is that being in a caloric deficit for months slows your metabolism down. So when the diet is over and you start eating more calories again, your body can't process them efficiently and they get stored as fat. Number 2 is the weight you lost on the diet was fat and muscle. And muscle is what makes your metabolism function at a high level. Okay, so if your muscle mass is low, if you've lost muscle, your metabolism is slower. And number 3 is a powerful metabolism and healthy, sustainable weight loss is not about calorie restriction. Okay, it's about the quality of the calories you eat, what calories you eat, how you eat them, and when you eat them. It's not about how few calories you eat, it's about the quality. Okay, and now the fourth thing that's keeping your weight stuck if you're a man in your 40s, 50s, and 60s is inflammation. And the facts about inflammation are as follows. 1, if you have belly fat, you have chronic inflammation. That's a fact. 2, your belly fat is like a smoldering fire, okay? It is this like smoldering fire creating inflammation in your body. And chronic inflammation leads to chronic disease. It leads to things like diabetes. It leads to high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high triglycerides, cancer, all of those things, okay? And the best way to lower inflammation is through the foods you eat. All right? You need to make the right food choices to lower inflammation in your body. And foods that cause inflammation are things like added sugars, so crackers, granola bars. There's lots of sugar in salad dressings and sweetened yogurt, cereals, sports drinks. The second food would be trans fats, and you can find trans fats in all kinds of things, especially processed cookies, crackers, pastries, anything you're really going to eat in a restaurant, margarine, microwave popcorn, non-dairy coffee creamers, shortening. And basically, if you see hydrogenated oils or partially hydrogenated oils in the ingredient list, the food contains trans fat, even if it says contains no trans fat. Okay, there's a little bit of a blip and a little bit of a loophole that companies can get through. If it's got under 1 gram of trans fat, they can say it doesn't have any, but no amount of trans fat is actually safe and healthy for humans. Okay, number three, a food that causes inflammation is omega-6 fatty acids, and you can find those in bad oils like canola oil, corn oil, mayonnaise, safflower oil, sunflower oil, and peanut oil. That's found in processed food. It's found in takeout food. Don't eat it. It's bad. Number four, refined carbs. So breads and rolls, crackers, French fries, pasta, sugar, sugary cereals, white bread, and white rice. Okay, those are all foods that cause inflammation. All right, so now let's get into 4 strategies to get your weight unstuck. Excuse me. So 4 strategies to get your weight unstuck. Number 1 is to stop, okay? And this is what I make my clients do. This is what I make people who join my program do. You need to stop doing all of the things that are not working so that your body is no longer stressed. So when my clients start working with me, when people join my program, the Belly Fat Fix, the first thing that we do is to stop everything, stop dieting, stop focusing on the scale, and just stop. You need to give your body a break, okay? You need to stop doing the things that aren't working. You need to allow your body time to rest and time to do number 2, which is reset. So after you stop everything that isn't working, like dieting, your body will be able to reset. You really need during this period of time to learn what to eat, what not to eat, how to eat, and why it's important for weight loss and health in men over 40. So you need to reset your body. Number 3 is balance. You know, your body will then start to come back into balance. You'll maintain and build muscle mass, your hormones will become balanced, your metabolism will start to work more powerfully, and your inflammation will go down. And number 4 is to be consistent. So when you give your body optimal nutrition consistently over time, you will start to thrive. The weight will start coming off. You'll feel and look healthier, and you will be on the road to achieving your weight loss and health goals. So let's go over the strategies in a little bit more detail. Strategy number 1 is stop doing what is not working. So when I say stop doing what isn't working, I'm really mostly focusing on dieting, because pretty much every single person who books a Zoom call with me, every single person I work with has been dieting, has dieted in the past. Okay, so you need to stop dieting. And I know it's hard to wrap your head around the fact that you can lose weight without dieting, but think about it. If you're dieting now and you're not losing weight, it's not working anyway. Okay. So if you're thinking about starting a new diet, I really want you to ask yourself these questions. Is this diet any different than the last one I tried? Is the main focus of the diet staying in a caloric deficit? Okay? If the main focus of whatever diet you're going to be on is staying in a caloric deficit, you probably want to think twice about starting it. All right. When was the last time that I went on a diet and was able to maintain weight loss for 5 or more years? So ask yourself that question. Have you ever been on a diet, lost weight, and been able to maintain that weight loss for 5 or more years? Okay, the next question is, can I continue to eat this way for the rest of my life? The biggest mistake that I see people make is they go on a diet that's super restrictive. So maybe they go on keto, or they go on this calorie restricted diet where they're, at 1,500 or 1,800 calories a day. They're hungry all the time. And there's like almost 0% chance that they can maintain that way of eating for the rest of their life. So if you are about to start a diet and you cannot continue to eat that way for the rest of your life, it's not going to work. okay? Because whatever it is that you choose to do to lose weight and regain your health needs to be able to be sustainable. You need to be able to do it um, for the rest of your life and going forward. And that's really what I teach people. I teach them this eating plan or this way of eating that they can continue on for the rest of their life. Okay, they can sustain it lifelong. It's not torture. You never have to feel hungry. You know, you can have a piece of cake once in a while at your kid's birthday. You can, go away on vacation and indulge a little bit. You can do all of those things. And that's why it works. And that's why people get results when they work with me, because I teach them a way to eat that they can continue using for the rest of their life. Okay, the next question is, does this diet put my health first? So ask yourself, does this diet put my health first? If you don't know the answer to that question, then you need to get some expert help. Okay. And that would be a really good time to reach out to me and say, hey, Trina, can I book that free Zoom call? I'm about to start this diet. I want your insight on whether this diet's going to put my health first and whether it's a good choice. And I'm going to give you my honest opinion. And I'm happy to do that, whether you want to work with me or whether you don't want to work with me. But if you don't know if whatever diet you're about to start puts your health first, please reach out and I will help you answer that question. Okay. The next question is, am I looking forward to eating this way? If you're not looking forward to eating whatever way this new diet is going to tell you to eat, then how are you going to keep doing it long enough to keep the weight off for the rest of your life? Okay. So you know, I get it. Some people are not ready to make huge changes in their life. Some people don't want to eat only whole foods. If that's you, maybe I'm not the right person to work with, because I can teach you a way to eat that you can look forward to. It's whole food, but it's delicious food. And you can look forward to eating that way for the rest of your life, but you have to be ready to make that change. So, you have to be able to at least be able to say, I'm ready to make these changes and I'm looking forward to trying different vegetables and trying different protein sources and that sort of thing. The next question is, am I going to be miserable on this diet? So if you're thinking about starting a diet and you know for a fact you are going to be miserable doing that diet, it's probably not going to work. Okay. If you're going to be miserable on a diet, maybe you're going to be able to stick it out for a month. Maybe you're going to be able to stick it out for 2 months, maybe even 6 months. But if you can never go out to a restaurant and eat with your family, if you can never have a piece of cake, if you can never, eat the food that you like, then you're going to be miserable. And if you're miserable, you're never going to follow through long term. All right. Ask yourself, am I going to feel hungry all the time on this diet? If you have done diets in the past and you feel hungry all of the time, that diet did not put your health first. Okay. My clients do not feel hungry. All right. They don't, their cravings start to go away. They don't feel hungry all the time because their body's getting the nutrition that it needs. So if you're going to start a diet that you've done in the past and you're going to feel hungry all the time on that diet's not putting your health first. You should not do it. Okay. And then the last question is, does this diet fit my lifestyle and allow me to indulge in foods that I love once in a while? When I say lifestyle, it means, hey, like maybe you have to go away for work. Maybe you have to travel. Some of my clients travel. Some of my clients, go away for business and they're eating at restaurants. And some of my clients, go away to work at a mine and they have to live in a hotel for 2 weeks. You know, can whatever plan or diet that you're doing fit into your lifestyle? Can you eat that way wherever you are? Can you eat that way if you go traveling, 5 times a year? You like to go to a resort 5 times a year and you eat out at restaurants. Is this going to be able to fit into your lifestyle? Are you still going to be able to lose weight, regain your health, and maintain that weight loss and that health if you are living your life? Okay. Um, I teach people to do that. I mean, that's what I do. I definitely am not some perfect nutritionist, and I like to have cake once in a while, and I like to eat chocolate, and I like to have a glass of wine, and I like to go out for dinner, and we go on vacation once in a while, and I eat at restaurants. And it's totally possible to have a way of eating and a long-term eating plan that allows for all of that. So if whatever diet you're going to start does not allow you to live your life comfortably, then it's also probably not going to work. So basically what I'm telling you is just really think about it. Think hard about going on a new diet, and then stop doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So if you're just going to go back on another calorie restricted diet, the same one you went on 3 years ago that didn't work, then maybe it's time to think about trying something new. Because if you're going to do the exact same thing, why do you think this time you're going to get a different result? You probably won't. Okay, so strategy number 2 is to reset. And how do you reset your body for lasting weight loss if you're a man in your 40s, 50s, and 60s? You do this by changing how, when, and what you eat, so that you can influence how your body responds to food, okay? And you want to do this so that you can maintain your muscle mass, balance your hormones, fix your metabolism, and lower your inflammation. And if you've been watching carefully, you know that those 4 things are the things that are keeping your body stuck. They're keeping your weight stuck, right? Your muscle mass, your hormones, your metabolism, and your inflammation are keeping you stuck. So you need to learn how, when, and what to eat so that your body can respond properly and you can actually lose the weight. Because when you do this, the weight will start coming off and it will stay off. And not only will the weight start coming off and you'll be able to reach your goals, but you will also feel better. You'll have more energy. Maybe things like your sleep will improve. Things, your blood pressure or your cholesterol might improve. You're not just getting the weight, right? When you reset your body, all kinds of amazing things can happen. So really you reset your body by balancing your blood sugar. The key to resetting your body is balanced blood sugar. And the key to balancing your blood sugar is food. Blood sugar is regulated by the foods you choose to eat, food that your 40, 50, or 60-year-old body male, oh my goodness, your 40, 50, or 60-year-old male body needs. And you do this by changing what, how, and when you eat food in a long-term eating approach. Okay, so we just talked about that. You need to be able to have a long-term eating approach, something that you can do for the rest of your life, something that doesn't make you miserable, something that puts your health first, right? Men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s need to eat to balance their blood sugar. They don't need to eat less, they don't need to exercise more, but they need to be able to learn how to give their body optimal nutrition. Okay, and to do that, you need to learn how food affects your blood sugar. And you can see in this graph, it'll show you the different rates that carbohydrates, protein, and fat each affect the rise of blood sugar. So you can see here, fat and protein, and especially fat, doesn't really spike your blood sugar at all. So if you've ever done keto and you've lost a ton of weight, this is why, right? You're eating tons of fat on keto and your blood sugar wouldn't go very high at all, right? The problem with keto and other diets that focus on completely cutting out carbs, yeah, it keeps your blood sugar low. Yes, you lose weight, but if you're not optimizing your nutrition, if you're not having optimal amounts of all the other stuff, you will still lose muscle mass. And unfortunately, if you lose muscle mass, you're in a bad spot. You're going to lose all that weight, but you're going to have lost fat and muscle. And then if you want to start eating normally and if you don't want to stay in keto for the rest of your life, then you're going to start gaining it back. Okay. And I definitely would never advise staying in keto for longer than a month. It's actually really bad for your health. It's not good for your thyroid and it's just not good. So yeah, if you're thinking about doing keto long term, or if you've been doing keto long term, I would highly recommend just booking that free Zoom call with me if you've not talked to me yet, just so that I can help you understand what's happened to your body and how you can fix it. Because I've worked with a lot of guys who have done keto, who've lost, maybe 60 pounds and then gained most of it back for this exact reason. So I've got a lot of expertise in that. So really you need to focus on the building blocks of what you eat. If you've seen any of my trainings, you will know I say it every single time. Protein, fats, fiber, and carbs are important. You need to focus on trying to get all of those every time you eat just to keep your blood sugar stable, okay? The foods you choose are really essential. You need to choose whole foods that maintain muscle mass, whole foods that balance your hormones, whole foods that fire up your metabolism, and whole foods that reduce inflammation. All right, strategy number 3 is balance your body. So the reasons your weight won't budge is really because your body is out of balance. And you probably feel that your body's out of balance. You're carrying around this extra weight. Um, maybe you're tired, you're not sleeping well, you've got energy slumps, you've got chronic health problems like diabetes, cholesterol, all those things. Your body's not out of balance, or your body's not in balance, and your body's trying to tell you something. And the only way really to balance your body is to deal with the 4 things that are keeping your weight stuck: your muscle mass, hormones, metabolism, and inflammation. And the only way to fix those 4 things is by giving your body optimal nutrition. There's no way around it. There's no easy way around it. You have to give your body the basic building blocks that it needs to be healthy, okay? And you do that by giving it optimal nutrition. You really need to figure out what optimal nutrition is for your body, your life, and your activity level. It's not the same for everybody. Okay, so again, the 4 pillars of my weight loss program, and also when I work with people one-on-one, are muscle mass, hormones, metabolism, and inflammation. You have to deal with them. I make my clients deal with these 4 things every single time that I work with anybody, because it's the only way to get your weight unstuck and for you to get lasting weight loss, okay, is by the food choices you make. Strategy number 4 is to be consistent. Making small, consistent changes is really the key to getting your weight unstuck. Okay, small, consistent change leads to sustainability. When you're making gradual changes, it's a heck of a lot easier to maintain them long term. If you make like a sudden, drastic change, like today you say, that's it, Monday I'm starting keto, or some other restrictive diet, you can feel really overwhelmed and it's really unpleasant and it's harder to stick with. Okay, and that increases the likelihood that you will just revert to your old habits and then you will never actually make the change. So try and just make small changes. Maybe just change 1 meal a day. Often with my clients, we start that way. We're like, you just change breakfast, or just every day go for a 15-minute walk after dinner or something. Just make some small change and stick to it. Okay, small consistent changes lead to habit formation. So when you make small adjustment, it allows you to build healthy habits over time. When changes are manageable, you can slowly integrate them into your routine, leading to more lasting change. And small, consistent changes lead to a better mindset. If you set small goals and you work to achieve them consistently, you'll feel good about it. Even if you're just like, well, I'm going to go for a 15-minute walk after dinner every day this week. You can do that. You can achieve that goal. And when you achieve that goal, you're like, I feel good. I can do this thing. And that'll just really boost your motivation and keep you on track without the frustration of aiming for unrealistic results too quickly. And a bonus strategy really is to get rid of the all or nothing mindset. Dieting and the diet industry really pushes this idea of, if you're not perfect, then it's never going to work. And that's just it's just an absolute bunch of crap. Okay. You're going to have life happening. Any diet you do, or any weight training program or fitness program or health program you do, life is going to get in the way. You're going to get sick. Maybe one of your parents is going to get sick. People die. Cars need to be fixed. Accidents happen. Just life happens. Birthdays happen. Weddings happen. Celebrations happen. You you can't you can't live your life in this all or nothing mindset. Like, oh, I can't go out for dinner with my friends because, that one beer is going to throw me off my diet. Or, I'm only supposed to have like 3 shakes and 1 meal a day, like some crazy diets tell you to do. Like, I have to bring my own food if I go out to a restaurant or I go to somebody's house for dinner. You cannot function that way. So just get rid of the all or nothing mindset. You can still go to a barbecue. You can still go to a family function. You can still go to Christmas. You can still go on vacation, and you can still stick to a long-term eating plan or approach. It's 100% possible. My clients do it all the time. I live my life that way as well. So it can't be all or nothing. So just get rid of it. I'm really not going to talk about the program today. Um, but basically, working with me will fix all the issues you have. You'll have no more cravings. You'll have more energy. You'll be stronger, no more aches and pains. You'll be fat burning. You have reduced stress, good quality sleep. Your fatigue will disappear. You'll have no metabolic syndrome. You can reduce things like blood pressure and cholesterol and start getting those in check. You won't feel hungry all the time and you'll be able to lose weight. Okay. And you do that by eating healthy, yummy, whole food and chicken with the skin on because that's my favorite. And sauce. It's fine. Anyway, so that's it for today. I'm going to unshare my screen. I don't think too many people are watching live. But I ask whoever is on live if you have any questions, I can answer them happily now. Are you still on, Norm? Okay. Anyway, I don't think there are any questions today, so I will hop off. Oh, hi, Norm. Thanks for coming. Okay, well, I'm gonna end the presentation for today because I have a busy afternoon that I have to get started. So yeah, thanks to everyone who's watching either live or in the replay. If you have any questions, as always, please you can put them in the comments if you watch the replay, no problem. And yeah, I will see everybody at the training next week.